Hey guys, Monday Morning Briefing here. It's Chapo Dong, one of the senior coaches and contributors here at DFSArmy.com, reminding you, follow the Twitter account. Anything that you guys share out there, your lineups, your wins, everything. We try to promote and push that stuff. It helps you guys get some eyeballs and grow your social media presence as well. But most importantly, let's run through a couple of these wins I posted just up above where this video is going to drop in here. We had some big weeks. This wouldn't jump on me, it'd be great. We had some big weekend lineups from some guys that really did well, and we've had a recent $50,000 winner that you saw in baseball as well. So follow the coaches, follow the game plan, put in those unique lineups. I'm working on a couple of things myself in terms of some MME type of stuff that I think is going to be kind of fun when I get to a point where I can release that. But I wanted to go through the morning contests with us and show us what's coming up so that you guys know what to count on. And first and foremost, we've got a several game slate in baseball, a 9-game slate on DraftKings, maybe 10 or 11 on FanDuel, depending on if they go all the way back to the 5:05 Central Time or 6:05 starts. So that's sometimes a little bit earlier. A lot of times those 6 o'clock games get cut out. Cleveland is notorious for it. So I double check with FanDuel to make sure it's not completely different, but according to DraftKings, it's a 6:40 p.m. start for baseball. I've got some smaller slate stuff. There'll be showdown coverage, I'm sure. Research Station is up and live. Full count is coming. The coaching will be there in Slack all day long, as well as cheat sheets, for the main slate at the very least, and probably the showdown slate as well. Golf comes up on Thursday. We'll have a preview article out for you here in the next day or so. Hitting Bombs podcast by Josh will be coming out. That is a phenomenal podcast to listen to get you set up for the week. Also, the Chalk Donkeys is probably the most famous of the golf coverage that we do besides our very own cheat sheets and research station. I'll tell you a little bit about double 100s for you PGA players. Double 100s is heavily based on recent form. It is a number that I'm working on that will help you identify guys down the list that are making cuts and playing very well recently over about the last 3 samples, last 6 samples, and adding scores together, sort of like I've done with K-Score. If you guys know anything about me, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I make up metrics that are completely unique to me and therefore unique to DFS Army, like K-Score, W-Score, WOBISO, which is WOBA and ISO added together. That's actually been picked up by Line Star, to be honest with you, but I swear if they came up with it first, I didn't know about it. I came up with that one on my own. Adding these things together creates a sliding scale. Shots on goal and block shots, I believe, is another one Line Star's picked up on that I think that I actually came up with first, or at least it was original in my head. It's not like I stole the idea from anywhere. I thought of it on my own. It creates sliding scales. So K-Score, for example, is strikeout percentage and then opponent strikeout percentage of the team, and it just logically makes sense that if we have even a mediocre strikeout pitcher facing a high strikeout team, he might be set up to have a higher strikeout total today than a high strikeout pitcher facing a low strikeout team. So if we compare apples to apples, we can start seeing matchups that are in about equal strength that also have a price difference in the pitcher. One pitcher may be 10K, the other may be 8K, and you may want to save that 2K for your bats when you're going to get about the same results, over a larger sample. Now, of course, today is one day, anything can happen, but that's kind of what's going on. So with golf, the double hundreds does a little bit of the same thing, in that it's equating a lot of these guys. You can find lower owned, cheaper guys. Last week we ended up with 12 names. It changes as the field changes from tournament to tournament. So I can release something now based on last week, but I need to see who's in the field this week coming up before I can really run through the list and make it proper. But last week we ended up with 12 names on that list. Several of them went deep into the top 10, maybe even top 5. And then we had I think 12 names on the list, and 8 of them made it through the cut. So because they're cheaper players, you're going to want to only probably pick 2 of them, maybe 3 if pricing's really tough, but you're going to want to mix and match them. You're not going to want to hang your hat on any of them, because any of them can falter at any given moment. So that's just a rough breakdown of that number that I'll put together again this week for our golf coverage. NASCAR, Of course, we've got a cup race out on Sunday, which probably means, and I haven't checked, probably means we're going to get Xfinity and truck slates as well. So Research Station, Taco, Nilly, Larkin, all these guys will have previews. We'll have probably Calming the Chaos, probably Sway Bar, and along with all of the research and all of the Domination Station projections that absolutely smash the industry in this sport. If you don't play a sport on a regular basis or you're wanting to learn a new sport, this is the one to do. This is the one to get into. MMA, we had a great week in MMA thanks to Marley and Geek and Sniper and Eric. Those guys are on top of the MMA coverage each and every slate. From cash to GPPs. My favorite there in the cheat sheets, if you go into the MMA tab on DFSArmy.com, you'll see the little drop down menu that pops out. The cheat sheets, that consensus page is my favorite. When I dabble with MMA, I run off of that. I want to see that, of our 4 core coaches, 2 or 3 are putting the same core together, and that's what I'm going to try and accomplish myself. I'm going to put a lot of weight on those guys in the optimizer with, smiley faces and everything else. And speaking of which, under the MLB tab, if you haven't seen our stacking function yet, you need to take a look at it. The randomization of teams in MLB is pretty cool. NBA is coming. NBA is coming late this week, and obviously you guys should be really, really fired up about that. We've got a few games kicking off Thursday and Friday, and then we're going to roll into full coverage with the exact same setup as baseball. Coaching in Slack, research, Domination Station, projections all over the place, a couple of write-up articles, and that content is going to be just as rich as the other sports. NHL will be the exact same when it kicks up this weekend. So after this weekend, after Sunday, we are going to have upwards of 7 sports going at the same time. So we haven't forgotten about your esports, soccer, Aussie football, all that stuff's being handled in Slack. You can hit the appropriate room for coverage there. But to be honest with you, with 7 main sports and football coming, all going at the same time, we're up to our eyeballs in work around DFS Army doing the heavy lifting for you guys so that you guys don't have to. And the best part about it is we pass all of that knowledge right out to you guys so you guys can plug things in, set the optimizers up, and rock and roll. And with the natural variance of the sports, there's going to be ups and downs, of course, but if you manage your bankroll properly, and this is going to be the hard part after, say, this weekend, it's going to get really hard to manage that bankroll. You're going to want pieces of everything, but you're going to have to either have, really lower your play per sport, or you're going to have to really pay attention and pick and choose which particular sports you play per day. However it's going to work out for you and what you want to do. We're trying to make the lifting easy for you so that you can play each and every sport that you want to play. I mean, if I wanted to, I could go dump, $2 or $5 worth of nickels or $2 worth of dimes in every single sport. Or instead of playing 5 sports, I could take that $2 and make it $5 or $10 and kind of focus on one key sport. That's where the bankroll management is going to come in. Don't, because you play $10 in MLB every day, don't all of a sudden play 10 there and 10 in NBA and 10 in NASCAR and 10 in golf and 10 in baseball, whatever. Throw 10 at hockey and now you got $60 floating out there and you've only got $80 in your account. That is not how that's going to work. And if that scale is too small for you, add a 0 to it. Don't go playing $100 a slate if you've only got $800 in your account. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's one of the things that we expect to be questioned repeatedly about is how we might manage our own bankrolls. And if you jump into Slack, up here I have a couple of channels that I frequent. Beginners Coaching, my channel for bankroll management. These are 2 channels where you can always tag me. I'll try to keep my eye on them the best that I can. And we're going to get this week up and rolling, and we're going to let the chaos ensue, because I promise you, where we have the edge in daily fantasy sports is when we have everything covered from A to Z and the rest of the industry can't keep up. We've got short turnaround times. We've got specialized coaches in each and every sport. They're there to do the research for you and get you pointed in the right direction, and then give you the little pushes that you need to make the confident tweaks individually that set your lineups apart from everybody else's. And from then on, we throw them all in the Yahtzee Cup. May the best man win, and I guarantee you every single day, you're going to see a crap ton of DFS Army helmets on leaderboards, because that's just how good we are. This is the original coaching site. Don't fall for any imposters. We are the most accessible coaches in the industry that live and breathe this stuff and are here to help you become a better player. Consider us, if this is the first time you've ever tuned into something like this, consider us. DFSArmy.com, coupon code DFSArmy. and I'll put that stuff down in the comment section of this little video, and we'll release it probably each and every day going forward, just to get your head pointed in the right direction. 10 minutes. I'd like to get it to 5 minutes or less, but when I throw little tips and little tidbits and stuff in there, it's going to drag out another few minutes. If you like it, like and subscribe to the video and the channel, and we'll keep putting this type of content out for you. Other than that, it's going to get to be crazy, going to be chaotic the next couple of weeks here, so let's dig in, let's take full advantage of our advantage, and let's make a lot of money. Take care, guys.